Hey guys, Metal Matt here, and a rather sad show today. We all want to pay tribute here on Metal Stream Radio to the legend that was Ozzy Osbourne. Sadly, the news broke today that he'd passed away, age 76. And, Ozzy had such a huge impact on all our lives, I think, all us heavy metal fans. And to me, I always loved, the early Black Sabbath albums. And, Ozzy's voice is just something that can't be replicated. Such a unique voice, such a unique talent, And as a frontman, he was so wild. He truly loved what he did, You could see just by watching him, he had so much fun up on those stages. And, he went around the world, he had an amazing life, and today we're here to celebrate him. It's such a sad day, but, let's celebrate the life of Ozzy Osbourne. I'm in Mexico at the moment. I thought I'd do this in the garden, as I just want to be in nature and stuff, to do this tribute show today. I've already recorded a show for this week, and I didn't realise this news would break. There's an Anthrax special on Friday and Saturday, but I had to do an extra show today just to pay tribute to Ozzy. You may hear a few noises in the background, hopefully beautiful birds serenading, but also neighbours banging around by the sounds of it. But that's Mexico for you. There's always noises going on here. But I wanted to get outside in nature to do this because, Ozzy Osbourne has left us, and, he's up there looking down, and I wanted to be out here to just enjoy with you guys some Ozzy Osbourne. I'm going to talk a bit about the impact it's had on my life and some of the kind of history and things, and just play mainly a lot of cool Ozzy Osbourne songs and Black Sabbath, and celebrate the music that he blessed us with. It really, just to start, it all feels very surreal not having Ozzy with us now. It's more disbelief than anything. I feel like it just isn't real, as I'm sure many of you also feel. But unfortunately, he was in a lot of pain. I think he had a spinal surgery which impacted his health a lot, and he was in a lot of pain. The Parkinson's also, but from an interview I saw recently, it was the surgery which really messed him up, and he wishes he hadn't done. He really regretted doing that surgery. Really sad he had to go through that and deal with that pain. But Ozzy was, a man of, 9 lives or something, because he had many close to death experiences in his life. You may remember he had that accident when he was on his moped or something. I think he was going through the fields on some kind of thing, and he broke his neck, I think, and had his neck cast up. I think that was in the Osbournes. You might remember that, where he had a big neck cast on, and he's had many close to death experiences in his life. So he was the one guy we thought was kind of invincible. He'd been through a lot. He always come through the other end, and he was lucky to get this far with the wildlife he had, and that's a blessing in itself. And someone was obviously looking out for him, because he lived a long life, and for most of it, I think he was in, comfort and very happy. It's sad that his end days, were in pain some of the time, but I think he was kind of getting better. He had periods of feeling better, from what I gathered from interviews and things like that. Hopefully he wasn't always, in too much pain. But he was obviously having his health struggles. At least he's out of that pain now. But I wish he was still around, because he was such a character. He's another person like Lemmy who you just won't get again. There's certain rock stars and personalities that were just so unique and so real. He was one of the most real people. There was nothing fake about Ozzy. That's what I think people loved. And he never come across as insincere or playing a character. He was Ozzy Osbourne, and he was living his life to the full. And he had a crazy life. And I wanted to start off in the early days with Black Sabbath. first off, so we can all enjoy together. I'm going to play a little song called The Wizard now for us all to enjoy and celebrate Ozzy today. Let's enjoy, let's smile. I wrote a post earlier for my YouTube channel saying, when I think of Ozzy, I can't help but smile, and I think that's so great. I mean, some people come to this earth and leave a legacy and make an impact, and Ozzy, certainly did. He was one of those people who has left such a great legacy behind him, and if we can think of Ozzy and smile, I think that is the best thing. And just he brought us so much happiness. Aren't we blessed to have had him in our lives? So let's hear some Black Sabbath now, straight out of Birmingham, England, with The Wizard. Wizard off the self-titled Black Sabbath album, the first Black Sabbath album. Black Sabbath, wonderful song. I love the harmonica, which I believe Ozzy was playing there. So yeah, he's a very talented guy. And yeah, I mean, I remember some iconic kind of memories, if you want to call them iconic memories, in my life. You know, something that really stands out is when I first got the Ozzy Osbourne live at Budokan. It was a fantastic show, filmed in Japan, and Zach Wild on guitar. And when I got that DVD, I used to watch it over and over because I couldn't believe how good it was. You know, Ozzy's performance, his voice, and the way he harmonised with Zach Wild, and Zach Wild's like amazing squeals he does on his guitars, pinch harmonics and all that kind of stuff, and the awesome extra melodies he adds to the music. I always thought they were so good together, you know, and that show was just out of this world. And I remember when I first got my chance to buy a Black Sabbath or Ozzy ticket. It was a few years ago. They were supposed to be playing Judas Priest and Ozzy Osbourne, so I thought I got to get a ticket, and I was so happy I did get a ticket. And then we were all locked down and it all got cancelled, and yeah, that was really annoying. So I never got to see Ozzy. He's another legend, you know. Again, Lemmy, I always wanted to see Motorhead live, and they come to Bristol where I was living a lot, but I didn't get a chance to see them either. So really gutted I never got to see Ozzy in concert. But this final show that he did, I mean, what a great way just say goodbye to the fans. I mean, it's going to be pretty iconic show to think back on and look back on. You know, Ozzy's final farewell, you know, and he sang so great. His voice was fantastic. He sang live. He you know, Mama, I'm Coming Home, he was quite emotional. You know, that's going to be a hard watch, I think, for many of us. And you know, he performed his set with Black Sabbath, which was just fantastic to see them all back together. Bill Ward on drums, Tony on guitar, you know, and Geezer, you know, all together back again. You know, the boys back in town. You know, it was fantastic to see. And in Birmingham, where it all started, what a fitting send off for Ozzy. And you know, I'm so glad he got to do that, and so many fans got to see him. You know, I know I saw a thing where they were doing a meet and greet about a week ago, and a lot of people met Ozzy, and there was a lot of people saying, wow, too expensive, you know, it's like £900 or something. But damn, I mean, that was money well spent. They met Ozzy Osbourne, and you know, that's what a fantastic thing that is. You know, they actually met Ozzy, and you know, once they're gone, and it's, you know, it's something you really, sometimes you've got to do it if you know, the opportunity comes, because what a memory. You know, they got photos with Ozzy and got to shake his hand, and you know, yeah, I'm jealous. I wish I got to meet him. You know, he was really awesome guy. He's one of the coolest rock stars, I think, that has ever existed and will ever exist. There'll never be another Ozzy Osbourne, you know. So yeah, I love him. I think he's great. And we're going to play a bit more Sabbath now. Let's go to the Sabbath Bloody Sabbath album with a little Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, because it's just a great song and great album. My first Sabbath album, I believe, and the first time I heard it, I thought, wow, I mean, Ozzy's voice is so like beautiful. He's got such a great voice, and you know, the heavy riffs. No guitar sounds heavier than Tony Iommi's. You know, it's so doomy and dark, and you know. But on this album, he kind of did some different stuff. It's quite an uplifting album, I'd say, for Black Sabbath. A lot of the stuff was very dark, but this album had a great vibe. And yeah, let's enjoy some Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, guys.
The race is from the book is read.
There we have a little Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath there. Such a cool song, and yeah, I just love it. I had the opportunity recently, it was quite fitting for myself to pay tribute to Ozzy's. Not somebody I sang stuff regularly because he's got such a unique voice, Ozzy. I daren't try it, you know, but I was asked by a band I perform with quite often here, you know, I'd get up and jam with them, called Tequila Monster, while the guitarist was doing a separate project, and he's been wanting to do a band with me. And he got together a Ozzy Osbourne tribute, kind of last minute Ozzy Osbourne and Marilyn Manson tribute, about a week before Ozzy did his final show. And I thought, yeah, I mean, when you're asked to do something like that, my answer was just, yes, I'll do it. And it was an intense week of learning a lot of songs and learning the timing and things, because Ozzy's songs are a lot more complex than you'd sort of think when you get into them and try and sing them and things. And you know, he's one thing I noticed with Ozzy, there's a lot of lyrics, more than most artists, I say, is a lot of words. So to try and get that in your head and learn that is quite a challenge. But I took the week upon me to really get my teeth into it, and it was singing stuff I'd never sang before, so I had a lot of fun doing it. I've got a recording of Let Me Hear You Scream, which I kind of did in my own style, and a bit of a kind of Rob Halford style, I guess, you know, with the high notes and stuff. I tried to do something a bit different with it, more my kind of singing style, if you know what I mean. Yeah, this is a little tribute I did. It's live, you know, it's raw and it's metal, and you know, obviously it's not a kind of perfect quality, but it's the best quality I could get. You know, it was recorded through the PA system, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. This is a little project we did as Metal Matt. That was what the guitarist said we're going to be, which is my name, obviously my musician name. So that's cool. I thought, yeah, great. You know, great way to pay tribute as Metal Matt to the legend that is Ozzy Osbourne, one of the inventors of heavy metal. You know. Judas Priest and Black Sabbath, obviously straight out of Birmingham. That's where heavy metal come from. They both in their own way created, you know, the sound, the imagery of heavy metal, and from there on it's evolved, you know. So we've got Ozzy to thank for you know, the beginning of heavy metal. You know, without Ozzy there may not be any heavy metal. So, you know, we love him, and this is us here in Mexico, in Cancun, doing a kind of last minute tribute to Ozzy, and I'm just so glad we did it, because you know, I'm glad to have had the opportunity to pay tribute to Ozzy. So this is my version of Let Me Hear You Scream.
Hello. It's coming, it's coming. Let me hear you scream. I'm black down through, beat up, but still I take the blows. 'Cause all I need is blood and sweat and skin and bone. I take this rage, rest all your case. Nobody said it's easy. It's do or die, only the strong survive. Get ready for the last stand. Get ready, I'm your hangman. Come on, let me hear you scream like you want it. Let me hear you yell like you mean it. If it's gonna go down, go left, go strong, go proud, go hard, yeah. Well, go home, let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you scream. I pull you up and push you right back in your place. I take you down and wipe that smile right off your face. I watch you break your mind to fate. Don't blink, you just might miss it. It's all or nothing, nowhere left to run. Are you ready for the last fight? Get ready, I'm the war cry. Let me hear you scream like you want it. you gonna go down, go left, go front, go grab, go on, go paddle, go home? Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you scream. Scream like you want it. Let me hear you. Yell like you mean it. If you're gonna go down, go left, go right, go on, go hard, go fucking home. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. If you're gonna go down, go left, go front, go right, go on, go hard, or go home. Yeah. Alright! Scream! Yeah!
There we have my little tribute to Ozzy there. It was great playing that stuff live. Not my usual thing, like I say, not something I typically sing. A little bit away from my style a little bit, but you know, I love trying it and having fun with it, and the audience were having a lot of fun, and I'm glad we got to celebrate Ozzy together, you know. That means a lot to me, you know, as a musician. Any chance I get to pay tribute to the people who have inspired me and made me who I am today as a singer and a songwriter, you know, which Ozzy certainly, you know, Black Sabbath was one of the first things I ever listened to, so, you know, it's amazing to be able to get the opportunity to celebrate their music, you know. And yeah, it's just a sad day, you know. As I'm doing this, I'm thinking, yeah, it's crazy that Ozzy's actually gone, you know. It's part of me don't believe it. It's like it can't be true, you know. But unfortunately, it is, and you know, what can we say? All we can do is celebrate his music, and that's why I'm doing this today, doing a special, just so you guys can enjoy some Ozzy Osbourne, and we can celebrate the music together. You know, and obviously, like I say, this is for Metal Stream Radio, which I do a show every week, Fridays 8 p.m. UK time, and Saturday 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is 6 p.m. in the UK. But yeah, you can listen around the globe, and we love our heavy metal here, and we love Ozzy, and yeah, we all just wanted to pay our condolences to Ozzy Osbourne and his family. You know, obviously he's always had such a supportive family, and you know, I used to love watching the Osbournes. Ozzy is such a funny guy, you know. He's like a natural comedian. He knew just what to say, and you know, he's not only an enormous talent, but just really, really funny, you know. And I love listening to him on podcasts and things like that. He was doing a few more podcasts. I think Jack Osbourne did a podcast, and someone else, you know, in these recent years, and just great to hear him talking. And I think that's what we all need to revisit and enjoy, and you know, just celebrate the legend that is Ozzy Osbourne. I'm gonna play a song now that I love, with Zakk Wylde on guitar. Like I say, this is one of the albums, Down to Earth, and that Budokan show I was talking about earlier. Something that really made me love Ozzy. You know, when I saw when I heard this album and saw that show on the DVD, I even met Zakk Wylde and got it signed, both the Down to Earth album and the Live at Budokan show. I got both of those signed by Zakk Wylde, which, you know, it was such a special moment, because I love those shows and that album, you know, and having it signed by Zakk Wylde himself, who I met in Bristol before a Black Label Society show. It was great. It was an honour, and it was great to meet him. He was so cool. He come out of the coach and was like, "Hey man, you got some stuff you want signed?" And I was like, "Yeah, please," you know. And he took it and he signed it, and the person he was with, the tour manager or something, he like shut the bus doors, and then I was just stood outside the bus while he was signing my stuff, and then it come out, and it was so nice. The autographs, you know, he draws a guitar and everything. He's got a really cool autograph, and he put a lot of effort into it. It was so nice to see my albums that I loved, you know, growing up, and have it there signed, you know, by Zakk Wylde. So yeah, that was cool. That was a cool moment for me. I'll always remember meeting Zakk Wylde and how cool an experience it was. So yeah, this one is where you're going to hear him tearing it up like the legend he is on That I Never Had. I Never Had. What an awesome song. I love that. I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, wow, that's such a cool song. And the version on there live at Budokan where Zatwad harmonises with Ozzy is so cool. One of the coolest moments, I think, of that show. Great hearing them, do their voices together. And obviously Zach was such a big Ozzy fan. He loved Ozzy, as well as, being his mate, his friend, and his guitarist. You know, you could tell he had a real love for Black Sabbath. He even did his own band, Zach Sabbath. So yeah, Zach Wilder, what a great friend and great addition to Ozzy, and obviously going back to the Randy Rhoads era as well. I mean, some fantastic music he did with Randy Rhoads, and yeah, he was such a skilled guitar player, and tragically died as well back in the day, you know, at his peak, really. You know, really sad loss to music, but his music has lived on, you know, to today and forever, you know, because people are always listening to that Blizzard of Oz, you know, where with songs like Crazy Train, which I'm going to play for you next because it's such a cool song, and you know, this one goes out to Ozzy Osbourne and the late Randy Rhoads as well. God bless them both now, reunited again. So this is Crazy Train. There we go with Crazy Train. What an awesome song. I love that album, you know, and obviously Mr. Crowley, another iconic song that Ozzy and Randy Rhoads did together. I think Randy was such a great addition to Ozzy's music. You know, he took it up a level at that period, and you know, made so many iconic songs that we all love. So yeah, we're going to listen to something now, which something I do regularly in Cancun. Anytime I go and see that band I was talking about, I always get up and jam some songs, and it's always Mr. Crowley. I do my own version of Mr. Crowley, kind of a scream version. So this is something I thought I'd play. I've got a live recording of that, which is my tribute to Ozzy. You know, something I love doing. I love performing this song. It always gets a great reaction, and it's great to pay tribute to Ozzy. I've been doing it for, you know, the past few years. I've been coming to Mexico whenever I get up and jam with this band. Obviously, like I say, the tribute thing I did was separate. That was like our own band with some of the members of that band. But this is me with Tequila Monster, as they call themselves, who you can see out here in Cancun. And I get up and sing with them, and this is something we sang, Mr. Crowley. This is a live version from I don't know when, because we've done it so many times, but it's one of the ones with a better recording of it, because my wife often films it, so you know, some of the recordings are good depending on the time period, because, you know, I don't know what it was filmed on at the time, but this one is fairly good quality, and, you know, it's just so you can hear my tribute to Ozzy and Mr. Crowley, and something, you know, which I do regularly, and, you know, it's going to have a whole new meaning now whenever I do it in the future, because Ozzy's no longer with us, you know, but it was a real celebration anytime we do this song together. We had so much fun, and we will continue to do so. So this is our version of Mr. Crowley.
de ese lado nos acompaña desde Inglaterra, de ese lado. Un aplauso, coño, un aplauso. Oh.
So yeah, there we go. That's my tribute of Mr. Crowley to Ozzy Osbourne, which like I said, I did on a regular basis here, and I will continue to do so. But I always had so much fun with that song, performing it live here. Performing in Mexico is such a thrill for me as a British guy, trying to keep the British heavy metal alive. In the ethos of Judas Priest, Black Sabbath. I love that classic heavy metal in my own music. I try and keep that alive, and whenever I perform live, I try and keep that sound alive, because I think it's so great. I think it's the best music that's ever been around, so I try to keep it going, and any opportunity I can get to sing this stuff and perform, I have a lot of fun with it. And I particularly love doing the scream version of Mr. Crowley, which is a cool version by Tim Ripper Owens, where he kind of screams it a bit as well, which is worth checking out. I think that's where I got inspired to do this one, but I do it a little bit different. But it's a great version by Ripper Owens of Mr. Crowley. For the rest of the show now, I'm just gonna play some great Ozzy songs, and some that might be a bit more emotional, because I want to celebrate Ozzy, and it's a sad day, but we've got some great songs by Ozzy now, and we can listen to this together, just enjoy. I'm not going to talk anymore because I just want to enjoy Ozzy and the music that he did. So we got some great songs now coming up. I hope we can all enjoy together. And we're going to get into a song now called Dreamer, which again is off the Down to Earth album. A beautiful song, and you get to hear Ozzy's beautiful vocals and great lyrics. I just want to say God bless you, Ozzy Osbourne. We love you. Thank you for all the great music, and thanks for having such an impact on my life and so many others. And one thing we all know about Ozzy Osbourne is he will never be forgotten. He's a one of a kind, and we miss you, Ozzy. God bless you, Ozzy. Cheers, salute. We love you. God bless you.
Gazing through the window at the world outside, wondering will Mother Earth survive, hoping that mankind will stop abusing her sometime. After all, there's only just the two of us, and here we are still fighting for our lives, watching all of history repeat went astray. I'm going through changes. I'm going through It took so long to realize, and I can still hear her last goodbyes. Now all my days are filled with tears. Wish I could go back and change these years. I'm going through changes. I'm going through Times have changed and times are strange. Here I come, but I ain't the same. Mama, I'm coming home. Time's gone by, it seems to be you could have been a better friend to me. Mama, I'm coming home. You took me in and you drove me out, yeah, you had me hypnotized, yeah. Lost and found and turned around by the fire in your eyes. You made me cry, you told me lies, but I can't stand to say goodbye. Mama, I'm coming home. I could be right, I could be wrong. It hurts so bad, it's been so long. Mama, I'm coming home. Selfish love, yeah, we're both alone. Right before the fall, yeah. But I'm gonna take this heart of stone. I just got to have it all. I've seen your face 100 times. Every day we've been apart. I don't care about the sunshine, yeah. 'Cause mama, mama, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. 1,000 times. Every day we've been apart. I don't care about the sunshine, yeah. 'Cause mama, mama, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
God bless you, Ozzy. We love you. Thanks for the amazing music over the years.
And on his way to dinner, when it took him by surprise, and with one pull of the trigger, he could vanish all the night. Dancing by the roadside, floating off the key alive. Then I come from out of nowhere, let a widow of his wife, yeah. And I don't mind. Sing about down the runway, feeling fine. But I see you, my friend, over and over again. You can we get on the train? We need to carry Mason, someone to put you in place. Call and carry Mason again. Riding painted horses for the kids, they love it so.